Yesterday, we saw G2 with a thrashing T side, not letting ENCE find a single CT round.
Yeah, that's astonishing in itself, and a conversation we can get into as this map gets underway. We can see a couple of P250s make it 3.
What's going on? Have they lost the nade?
Yeah, they've definitely lost some utility in spawn here. So everybody keep your eyes pressed, and maybe our OBS team can find it before they do, because something has been hoovered up here.
Never in my life, Chad, have I seen a start of a best-of-3 series for survival at a Masters level tournament. And we start with 10 seconds of just staring at the floor.
Well, I wonder what they lost, but they've lost their way right now. So whatever utility they required for this strategy is down the drain. That is T-spawn. But we can see A main parked, hampus, with Brollan not too far behind, and Rez and Plopsky. Now, while I mentioned those last three names are actually right now 3 in the bottom 10 of the stats in the tournament. And you're not going to win a game against G2 if your highest fragger is your in-game leader. No. So Brollan, Plopsky, or Rez need to step up here.
JACKZ is not falling for this at all. He spoke too soon. Back to the angle and not able to profit. They are slinking into Hunter's line, and he does tap away one. Brollan down, it's Hampus and Rez that do keep NiP's concerns voiced into this round, and now it's time for 3-man retake on G2.
ESSETAG's still outside B, and Plopsky's still mid. They need to get to the bomb, and now...
This gets awkward!
Boys!
Right now, immediately, ESSETAG is sprinting over there. m0NESY's already found himself a pair of frags, and suddenly the power changes, it shifts, and Aleksib catches one. An adjustment onto Plopsky. This should very well be ending right here and now. They are faking it out. Aleksib doesn't have the health for this. One bullet, one.
Oh,
knocks them off. They have the kit though. So m0NESY not only closes with a 3K to start off this defense, he will pick it up with the defuse as well. Okay,
well, let's see if we can find that missing piece of utility over towards T-spawn. It could be gone forever now. But one thing that we need to really keep a lid on here.
It's a tilter for sure. This second shot out of m0NESY was really quick, just rattled out of his pistol.
Bang.
Jesus, yeah.
Even Hampus said nice shot. So you know it's a good one when the players are given credit for it. A good one from ESSETAG there to at least knock him off the defuse, but time being the issue. And, well, speaking of issues, G2, they didn't have the easiest time on their CT side yesterday versus ENCE. The T side is a different conversation. So let's see if they can do better. Only 7 rounds posted. And in a game against NiP, who were able to pick up their ancient match against Heroic in the opener, are probably feeling quite confident. Now, one of the risks when you're picking into a map like this is it's new still, right? There could be a strat that you haven't thought of, that you haven't covered off, that could pull out, and then you have to adjust to it live. Well, right now we do see the force from NiP. 2 AKs, 3 Deagles, and a light smattering of U2 up against quite a heavy rifle investment from G2. No pressure mid early. It is A main that they're starting to walk in the same situation. Throw the U2, or hope to force the rotation, and then isolate a fight against JACKZ. Clear game plan.
It's clear game plan, and it will condition. Just 2 rounds, same set nades. It's JACKZ in a different position, and his head just tapped away at. He misses the first opportunity. Rez does go down, and m0NESY will clean house. Another quick reactive double out of m0NESY from that donut position. And NiP's potency limited. I do want to bring up the fact that when you've already just had a blowout series, DJL just voicing his concerns about the way their T-side looked against Na'Vi in particular, had no answers. If you come into this, starting on the T-side, and again feel like you're in that same boat, it would be very easy to start seeing the bricks of NiP start to topple over.
Well, let's put it this way, right? You could look at it 2 ways. You heard Freya there in the interview with DJ. I was like, yeah, it was Na'Vi and they're looking hot. Sure, but as I mentioned, Rez, Plopsky, and of course, Brollan, the newest addition to the team, in the bottom 10 players in the tournament so far. And that's as it currently stands. Now,
is that not a product of the shellacking as well?
Well, it is, but at the same time, if they showed up, then they wouldn't have got a shellacking.
Touche. So it's like a paradox.
Precisely, right? When ESSETAG and hampus are your 2 highest rated players, like hampus, we know the impact he can have. ESSETAG is doing the AWPing duties, but he's not meant to be a star player. Your star players are Rez and, of course, Brollan. And if those 2 aren't able to get things underway, as we take a look at some nice set utility here.
And the word I used was conditioning. I'm very excited to see if that does play a part into this first half. Will they be able to start pulling that G2 defense around if they prove that they can be behind them or not?
Well, DJ just said during that little veto conversation that the way that they play suits them, or could suit them, and so far not so good, as the plan to target JACKZ on A has not come to fruition within the early stages. Definitely something that they can lean back on late in the game, but Brollan in the pocket.
Yeah. Already we're going to be seeing the rest fall down. Good shut down. JACKZ you know, 50-50 on his A defense so far.
Yeah, and look, we also have noted with JACKZ as well in the game that we were commentating yesterday that he has a bit of a preference for the AUG. So when he's anchoring this side of the map, wants the 30 extra bullets, but doesn't need that when the AK is in his hands. But peppering onto Rez. And a smoke drop for him to play around here. So this is destined to be the third round now for G2. It would have to go horribly wrong from here. I think they'd have to unplug their mouse, their keyboard, turn their monitors off.
You mentioned ESSETAG having a good game as well. I think it is worth mentioning that he's had time to start developing out of the hobby AWPer into main AWPer transition. I actually had a really interesting conversation. This is
with ESSETAG?
No, with Simple and who was
Stown?
it? It was a North American player who was who never met Simple. So I like made the introduction. He had some questions.
Was it OC?
Fang?
Oh no, okay.
But it was about the AWPing role in terms of how long does Simple think it would take for a hobby AWPer to get the depth that a main AWPer has in the role, and Simple said 6 months.
All right.
So, I mean, ESSETAG's probably at the what, 4 or 5 mark
Yeah,
now?
and it's not that he hasn't AWP before either. I know that back in Heroic days when he was there and they didn't have an AWP for a while, he was doing it. One of the things that I always liked to attest to ESSETAG back in the day was he had really good movement, and he's a great team player. Like, he's a player's player. He'll fill all the roles, he'll do what the team needs him to do. But now this is a mantle of a primary AWPer, and we have neither on either side here going into the first gun round. The double incendiaries mid here to deny any space for hampus, and he's happy to give it to them. Smoke towards ledge from the T's to try and divide and conquer as Brollan, Plopsky, and ESSETAG are working on a project over towards B lane.
Yeah, full gun round. That 3-0 start from G2, and that same utility ESSETAG's been throwing, but with a twist.
Yeah, and they're holding on to a lot of nades here. Look at this. We've already had about 30 seconds transpire within this round. We still see a boatload of smokes, a whole heap of flashes, and 5 Molotovs left over for NiP. So they're allowing G2 to use all this util early, and that's one of the things. When the CTs want to use so much util aggressively, they have to start going for aggressive maneuvers like this.
This is what ESSETAG's waiting for, but he may not be ready for so many. Aleksib not ready and eliminated. ESSETAG catches him on the jiggle. Not down to the flash either, and they will flame NiKo away. He will have to respect that. Can't continue to contest, especially with 22 HP.
Yeah, and I think right there, G2 thought they may have taken a little bit more space, but quite a passive setup here from NiP, and now they have the man advantage. Hampus and Rez working on this donut position, but it's currently a 2-2 split. And little do they know, it would have been better to stick to their guns and finish on this B site. Cave control, sure. m0NESY peers on in, but if they go over towards A, it's JACKZ and Hunter. This won't be easy to break, and now that it's a 4-on-4, it starts to look even better for G2.
It does. I mean, if it pulls Hunter to mid, but in the time it's going to take them to bring that bomb back over, he's going to solve all of the mysteries here.
Well, what's JACKZ looking at right now? It's Donut. He's not really considering A main. He's hoping to get some util as a tell, and he will.
Suddenly his defensive reaction is required.
Oh.
A quick dink exchange. Both bodies drop. JACKZ still one and done.
Good molly.
They need to stop this plan if they can. ESSETAG gets it down. Plopsky on the big box, needs to live on. It's still a 3-on-3 for this retake. G2 trying to break back into the A site. Hampus through the smoke onto m0NESY. Plopsky very low on this big box, very susceptible to a bullet or two out of G2. It's Hunter and NiKo likely switching languages and popping 2 off the block. It's just Hunter now. No smoke, but a flashbang. Hard to fight ESSETAG here. He can play this smart. First bullet would have to be brilliant, and he gets the info off the strafe. He's running out of chances now. Hunter does have the kit. One fight is all he has, and he has to sprint back down. Close from ESSETAG, but no cigar. G2 maintained their unblemished record.
Yeah, great stuff there, and apparently does have to be Hampus. He gets a bit of traction as they're on the side, but nobody else really able to contribute to get NiP their first round on the board here. So a 4-0 start. This is great from G2. We were discussing the woes they had yesterday, only 7 in total, and right now they're 3 away from finding that in the early stages of NiP's map choice. Keep that in the back of your mind as we continue forward here.
Very well recovered. I mean, they did concede the opening. Of course, we saw Aleksib go down all the way at B. Brollan's death, one that I'm sure could have been avoided, but it did lead to a G2 round. We're back in, AKs in plenty.
And double AWPs right now. This is a change from G2. They were just rocking 5 rifles, and now they've brought out 2 scoped weapons. NiKo over towards the cave position is going to be attempted to set up. Now, unfortunately, a smoke forces him to reposition. But this is 2 AWPs. Now, if m0NESY fires one and they think, okay, that's it, let's try and head over towards B, they can run into the second big green and vice versa.
I wonder if Plopsky saw the AWP there. He definitely saw NiKo.
Remember Hampus once upon a time? Just go B. Well, they could right now. They've got 2 smokes, a molly, and a couple of flashes to make this work. They just have to break this double cave setup here, and Brollan looks like he'll be the man tasked with that. He went down last time in cave, and this is an even harder setup to get past.
Right, that's what I was about to say. You got m0NESY, who won it fair and square from the floor. Now you've got a two-man totem pole, and m0NESY's already put his name in the feed. Another opening for G2 as Aleksib does bait on in. Brollan doesn't get too greedy, though.
Stalled them out top ramp with the smoke. Still, key pieces of utility left for NiP, but 50 seconds left on the clock and a man down. This won't be an easy round to break.
Maybe run boosting hampus. We'll see. He's just got actually a little tiny bit of vision over the smoke. Not anymore, he doesn't. Well, this is going to be very hard. 40 seconds. You can see lineups to retake that cave control. Aleksib in, and nothing to report. So attention drawn to ramp. They have the answers they needed, G2. And it seems like NiP's T-side woes are going to continue.
Yeah, this is feeling flat here, isn't it? 3 players to lock down this site. NiKo can take contact with Orb. He's actually playing anti-flash right now. Nades are coming in, and he can peer on out and lock this one down.
Yeah, not getting given. Oh, okay. I was going to say anything. Takes it through the smoke, and a quick one out of Hunter. A pair of frags built upon by JACKZ's flash, and there's the finish. G2 seem very grateful so far on this defense. The double AWPs connecting as well. Both NiKo and m0NESY showing them with 3 kills of the 5.
Yeah, well, at least the double AWPs have been identified now. So if you're looking for a positive, NiP can call around that. But they don't have enough money to go for a buy and a very early timeout. This is the chance for DJL to grab the team, shake them and say, yeah, this is an elimination match. Let's lock this down. Let's get in the game. Let's not go out without a fight. Because G2, as Janko was talking about, when they get into the lower bracket and backs against the wall, they wake up. They realize the situation that they find themselves in, and we need to see if NiP can do the same. Started off with a great game against Heroic, one of the tournament dark horses here. Knock them out. Well, at least knock them down to get knocked out. And then go up against Na'Vi in a game that I was anticipating to be quite a hotly contested affair, but this is now bleeding into 3 maps where not a whole lot of resistance has come through. Against Na'Vi, 10 rounds in total, and so far 0 against G2. But I don't expect that to stay the same, as we're looking like a Tech-9 Rush B against the double AWP setup. Not a bad call.
Yeah, this could work well. Util barraging in. It's NiKo that's going to have to ask for Aleksib's help, and a missed Molotov. It means Aleksib's safe and sound, and NiKo again drawing blood for G2 early. Aleksib swings through for another on the M4. Need a trade. Can't find it. Can't post it. Everyone down other than hampus, the leader from Sweden, and his dastardly Deeg. 2 of the 5 required and 3 still breathing down his neck. They know he's no longer on the site. Or actually, I tell a lie. I do tell a lie. They are still hesitant. He's using this opportunity as G2 slowly solve the mystery. You can see m0NESY's crawling up short. They are going to start thinking it's a little too quiet, and he's thrown out some util to try and lock down CT.
That'll force a player into Temple most likely, because JACKZ will be behind this. He's actually going to park right into it. So there's a gap to work with for hampus for now. But getting past m0NESY and his AWP is not going to be an easy feat.
Yeah, I don't know how you get past him.
Might catch him in transition. You can see him still moving the scope blur. Oh, okay, steps around the corner. hampus goes down. A nice 2 digs. Now, look, for the longest time, it was an issue with in-game leaders in Sweden, right? Once Exist is gone, you're like, well, we need some in-game leaders, Swedes. What's going on over here? Well, now you've got an in-game leader, and apparently he's the fragger. So who's going to help him? I
mean, I really thought when you had this constantly, revolving door of ZTR into other acronyms, and I was getting worried. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, this doesn't seem like we're going to find substance. And then you pull Brollan. I was like, okay, well that is, brothers in arms with Klopski, reunited, consistent. It could be the recipe for Sweden to be back on the CS map, but absent on their T sides. That's something back. Brollan, we call his name, and he does post it in the feed. That is a bit of a deviation from the norm. We do see the T's with an opening.
Yeah, well, reciprocating maybe what he's going to be handing out once he's on the CT side. We know that he can be that cave player. So understanding the situation quite well, he's going to push in for control of phase 1 of cave. It's the cousins to lock down B for now, and they're in somewhat of a passive stance. Hunter, the one most likely to take contact here, until NiKo jumps forward. So it confirms that JACKZ's AWP is down long, but he's not shy. He's not afraid at all, and he's continued posted up on the line. It is a 4-on-5 disadvantage for G2 here, but these double AWPs could strike at any moment and find a pick back. Actually, a lot of room here. You can see hampus, if he wanted to stretch his legs mid, he wouldn't be punished until the donut line, and defensive utility now being lobbed out. So if NiP wanted to go, they will have to wait. If they just wanted to bait out nades, they got exactly what they were looking for. Bomb to be scooped up now. Brollan is heading back to pick that one up, and hampus still dealing with any of these mid-rotations. He will be relying on his teammates to be able to crack on in here without him. And Tag posted up in cave with the orb. If anybody steps in, that's a must-hit shot.
25, though, will have to be very well executed as they do rain in. Still to that two-man defense. Barrel of Nico spotted, but Hunter steps up and a missed shot on their orb. They are very light on time. Hunter and Nico low on health. Tag, though, still with the orb. Overkill into Hunter. And chasing down hampus is m0NESY. Oh, lovely on the dig. Tag still posting, though. That's his second. And now pre-aiming for this fight. m0NESY to be swung on. He's ready for one, but not both. And there's NiP building off of Brollan's opening into their first round on this T side.
Good stuff there, right? And you're a little bit worried when hampus over towards mid and the kills are actually going against NiP there, but Tag gets himself a double. They get themselves the round and they force an early timeout out of G2 immediately on a round loss. They call the timeout. They get the 30-second chit-chat, and I think that's good. I think they should get JACKZ involved really early here to try and set the record straight. We were talking about the CT woes against ENCE yesterday. Well, they're only one round away from being where they were. So when the money's still there, right, we can see another buy is able to come through for G2 here. Have a game plan, have a chat before you're in the ecos. And when you're in the ecos, you can take your time, you can do what you want. You can get Nico a Deagle, which we saw worked to great success against the international squad events. But both teams are going to be into full buys. Brollan is the one that has the largest emission of a Galil. Everybody else has what they would desire. But this is a chance for NiP to really start building into this half. If they can win a consecutive rounds here, likely to break G2 or force them into a save situation if they find a pick early. Again, it's the 3-2 split. hampus and Rez tasked with A and mid, and the three musketeers of Tag, Plopsky, and Brollan over towards B, and fast towards cave. That is quick from Tag. What a shot!
Yeah, but Plopsky builds upon it, doesn't burn too much, down to 50.
That's both B defenders.
You'd think you'd accelerate, but the knee-jerk reaction is just leave m0NESY alone on this donut position. He's not ready for this. Actually, hampus could have crouched under his crosshair had he not thought better of it. m0NESY now aware that his responsibilities have grown. Slips back onto the A site. A smoke arriving on donut will sow seeds of doubt. Plenty of time as hampus surging forward to divide the map. It will limit m0NESY's options. That is, unless he can relieve hampus of his health. Oh, great shot.
Great awareness as well. hampus loves to make that move into the red house. So that's a really important kill to find. Not only to draw it back to a 3-on-3, but no longer having the boogeyman of hampus in such a forward position to really cause an issue for G2. NiP now need to ask questions of where they want to finish. And m0NESY has already relocated off of that kill. So if they want to push up and go into red house, they will be very worried about all of these angles. Some jiggles will be pertinent here if they want to get control. As we can see, they can get it for free, but what's the option? Do we head around to B, or do we try and split A? And well, split A with that smoke.
m0NESY called upon again. He's had a great start on this CT half. 12 kills, 2 deaths, and he's well aware of where they're coming from. Should have another hit. Dead to rights is Brollan. Plopsky unable to trade. It's m0NESY's temple. NiP, the followers, one by one, they fall to their knees. 7 now for G2, and m0NESY accelerating up the scoreboard.
Beautiful stuff. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Yesterday was the Nico show. Multi-kill after multi-kill. Today, m0NESY showing what he can do. This is what you want to see from the young gun. Pressure, apparently not a problem whatsoever. Elimination, the lower bracket run. Oh, yeah, he's going to show the style and pizzazz that he's got.
It's so satisfying. That is like an AWPer's dream. One by one into his reposition. Just bloodlust.
Oh, 7-1 now. Brazilians up in arms here as we look to rush B again behind this same util.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, it would require a quick headshot onto Nico and then a follow-up onto Aleksib. Now he's been run down. They've got both of the requirements. It's a good smoke to hold Hunter at bay. And with Plopsky's plant, G2 at a disadvantage now. A dink, not bad. Half health for Hunter on the way back in. Tag forced to watch. It is now quickly becoming a 3v3 and certainly favors G2 with the weaponry. Time, though, ticking as that bomb planted, and that util does continue to shave a couple of seconds off.
Got a smoke hit at an eye, Molly as well. Util to be deployed. Perfect. There's a chance for this. Really
nice incendiary. Look what it's done to them. It forces Rez actually forward into the smoke unless they don't spray it. It's very light on time. If Rez could just knock JACKZ off the bomb. Oh, JACKZ is on it. Rez, last chance saloon. They can't stop it. JACKZ with the kit. Pulls home another G2 defensive round despite some heroics to start. NiP can't seem to get it going.
No, a plant is great here, sure, right? It is just a lighter buy, but there was a real opportunity to steal one away. So probably frustration starting to grow as a second timeout now called from DJO, and this half is slipping away from them. Unlike yesterday, G2 have now converted the half win with 8 rounds to their name, and you can see here the bullets just not landing on the plant. JACKZ tucking in. The bodyguard's there to try and soak up some bullets. And the defuse, well, that's one way to get the round on the board. What's the adjustment going to be here? Because the game plan for NiP, they still want to get the AWP out for attack. Now, whether that's to find a pick or just to find space, he has the big green DJ with a lot of talking there. They wanted to take this one to Ancient. They saw what G2 had to offer yesterday, and they liked it. And right now, I don't know if they're loving their pick.
Yeah. Whether or not that, you know, is the decision of a confident Ninjas remains to be seen, or whether or not that was more just hoping for the gimmick win.
It's just a risk, right? With the newest map in the pool, to be picking it, you have to be real damn sure that you have everything you want and more.
Stark contrast to the T side we saw out of G2 just yesterday. And Aleksib knocked on with a trade back to a 4-on-4, and Hunter's very quick to react. There is a threat from mid as it fades. That's a tag. Oh! Catches one to the head, but has Hunter dead. Nico responding onto the res on site. So it's still the G2 realm.
Quick note here, JACKZ is actually pushing into A main. Perfectly highlighted here by Jakey, just to let you know that that's a no-go zone. And even if they want to pivot back through Donut towards A and JACKZ stays here, he's in a very powerful position. But U2 lobbed out now.
Oh, S-Tag again. He's been one of the most impactful T-sided players, and it's with his T-sided AWP. It's hampus onto JACKZ and losing the duel.
They should go B now. They know there's one over towards A. So disconnected from the pack here. It's just m0NESY.
Yeah, m0NESY, though, has been a real thorn in their side. And again, catches Plopsky, knows where S-Tag was.
See ya.
And that's the end of that. m0NESY clutching up on the defense of the site. Didn't even need JACKZ's help.
And we see smiles on everybody's face for G2. When was the last time we saw that? Usually a team here that's great at frowning. This time, smiles from ear to ear. Even Aleksib B happy with how things are going so far. This is the form you'd love to get G2 in to continue to make this lower bracket run. They will be playing the winner of Mouse versus Vitality, which is an elimination game currently going on. You got the scoreline handy, Alex?
Yeah, I do. It's actually looking like at the business end. 15 Vitality, Mouse 12.
Okay.
Checking out over on that B stream.
This is magnificent. What more do you want?
Look at G2's defense. It's really hard for NiP to really find a way in. The only opening frag we've seen was a wallbang onto Aleksib B or an S-Attack T-side AWP, and it was Brollan that found one of those.
I do like this pace. You can understand it. I've highlighted it before because you can see how much utility that G2 bleed through while NiP don't have to throw anything, right? And at this point, they're standing.
He's going forward. Look at this. m0NESY's just really feeling himself right now. Repositions and collects. Hampus is gone. The flash for the reswing. Completely eaten by Plopsky, but no one or no need from G2.
Yeah, they've done enough here, right? And this is the thing. Don't get too bloodlusty. Stay playing the number advantage. Know that you are currently owning NiP, and if you play by the book Counter-Strike now, you can get 10 rounds to your name in the first 11.
Real confidence booster. Actually, Nico does dink Plopsky on his taps through that smoke, and m0NESY's got another one. Likely dead to rights. I don't know how he's got this premonition, but S-Attack is tucked in tight. And if he stays posted, yeah, that's another for the tally. We are up to, what, 20 and 2? He has a KD of 10.
Yeah, he's doing what Nico did yesterday. This is absurd. If they can just every day have a different superstar rock up and drop bombs, you are going to have a hard time getting past G2.
Yeah, I guess. It's just everyone just draws straws of who's going to be the body bagger.
What did Yanko say? NiP magic with Fnatic bullshit? Well, right now, I don't think we're getting either.
Oh, Brollan. Should be dead to rights here. Aleksib flashed in and oh no, that's gross.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's so gross. Jumping blind and the first bullet into the head. Another one racked up for G2. We are up to 10, folks. We could have a very quick trip over to South America today.
They can put no foot wrong right now. Everything they do turns to gold as G2 are looking hot to trot. I cannot believe how this one is falling at the wayside here. Do we get another timeout? The half can be salvaged, right? We're celebrating this from G2 because it's looking fantastic. But realistically speaking, if NiP get 4 consecutive and get 10-5 on the half, that's a good half as far as Ancient is concerned.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of having evidence in the first 11, minimal. We do need to see if NiP, off the back of one timeout from DGL, we didn't get much.
I have pointed out the stat lines for Rez and Brollan so far in this tournament being in the bottom 10. Well, right now, the bottom players on the scoreboard. Rez and Brollan need to get activated or NiP are not going to stand a chance, unfortunately.
Well, certainly when G2's individual, are taking it in turns.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? People might think I'm being quite harsh with that surmise, but this team doesn't operate with a star AWPer, and I don't think hampus would be offended by me saying that, right? I think that this team definitely needs to rely more so on their riflers, and right now, not getting a lot out of anybody. One round, didn't already tell you that. Captain Obvious here.
That's an interesting boost approach. Yeah, thank you, boys.
Yeah, we caught this one from FaZe, and then NiP were actually doing this yesterday as well. There's an option with the lower player. Karrigan does it for FaZe. He just holds a smoke. So if it gets mollied, he can deploy that at the feet, and you can still see over the top.
You might actually see it firsthand as to how things transpire there. Now, JACKZ has smoked the donut push off. Do they really want to brave it? They do. They are pushing him in, and he does turn the flash nicely. JACKZ racks up 2. And there's more there. Bomb spotted. A lot of information flowing into G2. And everybody that peeks them meets their demise. It is only Brollan and hampus now. Another round likely to go to the G2 Samurai. Quick flick does miss hampus, but what's he supposed to do? He's kind of hoping Brollan can retrieve this bomb. And even m0NESY will have the info if he does do that.
I wonder if there's a concede button that's been installed in Counter-Strike just yet, because I'm sure NiP are wanting just to get out of here. JACKZ grabs another one to find hampus with the AWP. A 1-on-5 situation with 20 seconds left on the clock. The best option is to save, and I'm not even sure if he'll get that. Aleksib already starting to chase this one down. He's pushed through the B doors. You can catch that on the X-ray. So if hampus starts to backpedal in towards the swamp of T-spawn, he's going to be dead meat. You can see him scoped in, rounding the corner, but Aleksib is coming. 5, 4, well, gets one, and he's alerted the rest of the team to his position. NiKo's coming. This could get worse. After time would be a bigger problem, and he just needs to hide, and will. So survival from hampus, sure, but is that the highlight of the half?
It might be. It very well might be. JACKZ handling business. This was it does seem like a bit of a Hail Mary. You're pushing through a donut smoke at 60 seconds.
Yeah, right? I don't know how... No, look.
There's no analysis for that one.
Not really.
It's a feeling, and JACKZ, I mean, admittedly, had he not been a tier 1 player and turned his back to the flash, he might have had a chance.
See, I could justify it away, but what's the point?
What is the point?
Yeah, it really isn't worth it right now, and another timeout called. I'm not sure how you get the team back into things because the players aren't here. What are you meant to do if they're not hitting shots?
Rub their shoulders?
Yeah.
Give them words of encouragement?
Would you be aggressively giving them words right now, or would you be lightly?
I think it would be more affirming. I'd be like, yeah, boys, you know, we've had a couple of bad maps.
This is what I would say.
Yeah.
I would say that this is our map choice, an elimination game at IEM Cologne, the last event before the season break, and if we lose here to G2 and we get absolutely destroyed, we are going to go in with our heads hung bloody low because we haven't played with hampus in the last few weeks. We've had ZTR standing in, and now this is the type of Counter-Strike we're playing, as another opening kill goes in the favor of G2.
Oh, that's one back. It's hampus. The most consistent member of these pajama ninjas. Now 4 on the half would be functional. NiP need to give evidence that they can contribute on this T side, and hampus slapping NiKo, building that mental picture off of that smoke trajectory.
It's all on the fin here.
One tucked in as Aleksib. That silencer might be sticking out, and it is. Dead meat. Nice catch.
Finally, a round. We'll
and who's it off the back of?
hampus.
The best player right now if hampus is not hitting his 1Ds.
Yeah, well, the fact that he gets NiKo there through that smoke as well, that is quite a miraculous shot to make. Now, if you're G2, do you want to try and deny here and go for a couple of kills? I believe the answer should be no, because Aleksib only has 900 smackaroos left in the bank balance. And Hunter doesn't have a lot either if he goes down. So saving, name of the game for Hunter and JACKZ. They will be making their way through T-spawn, but breaking through finally are NiP. And you said functional 4 rounds. Yes, I agree. But the T-half that G2 showed us yesterday was great. We saw some of the details with their A plays.
Sir?
Yes?
Did G2 show us a nice T-half, or did NiKo?
I think G2 did because they had a couple of nice strats that I liked. I remember that I was talking about the way they were scaling and how m0NESY was covering off Temple.
It just helped that NiKo was having one of those games.
Definitely so. But m0NESY's now having one of those games. So maybe they don't need NiKo today. It's always nice when your star AWPer is lighting up the server.
Certainly. Well, here's hampus' attempt. He does contribute with a nice bang onto NiKo. And yeah, don't really know what to say there, boys. Just got shot. through a smoke. Let's see if they can build upon it. We were talking about Fort, still up for debate. Hunter trying to be a bit more proactive on this mid hold. It's smoked for now.
Double ups again from G2 here. So if they lose this one, they're not going to have any cash going into the final round. So 4 could be likely, but NiP must convert this one. Now, they did it with the saved AWP and pistols. This time, they have a better buy indeed. Flak damage early to Brollan. It is looking like the hampus adage of just go B seems to be the name of the game to convert. Yeah, another round. There's no presence towards A, and JACKZ has already tucked in A main. So he's an early warning system here, right? You can say, boys, it is completely clear. There's not even a bloody lurker right now. I think they're just waiting out the util and then they're going to execute themselves. But if you're G2, just play retake. You can have Hunter and m0NESY push up lane behind them and box them in.
Very quickly as well. You can see the angle Hunter's holding. It's been avoided so far by their flight path. Something you do have to acknowledge though, as NiKo brings his AWP into that cave, will be flashed off in the re-peek. Attack should have him dead to rights if he does dare brave it. And Hunter has managed to catch that angle. He's been patient with that. And he had the freedom to hold it by virtue of m0NESY's aggressive secondary AWP.
JACKZ has gone walkabout here, so A's call completely clear. That frees Hunter up to rotate over. m0NESY coming too. Everyone's here for G2.
Oh, the outlook is so bleak now for the Ninjas with just 25 seconds left. It's about as firm as wet cardboard. Nothing for them here, and you can see the patience on G2. A multi-kill from Aleksib, spraying down the entire attack, and attack. What is he supposed to do? I guess try and save in plain sight, but that could be very risky. 5 seconds. If he dies after time, he's got 2,000 bucks. And only one more round to be played out. JACKZ not going to find him on his adventures, but that is 12, and that certainly feels like NiP's map pick is going to be one hell of an uphill climb.
Yeah, and again, elimination game.
Yeah.
So the context of this means everything, but NiP haven't come to play today, or at least they haven't shown signs of life. Great stuff from Aleksib here. It doesn't get easier, and you can see the time's an issue. They're worried about so many different fights, not clearing their corners, and the silenced M4 just sprays 3 in the back.
The Ninjas in Pajamas as an organization do have one ESL, one Cologne in the trophy cabinet. 2014 though, a while away from 2022.
That's before even in the Lanxess, mate.
Yep.
That's the Gamescom special right there. Well, the max loss bonus has really helped NiP out here, hasn't it? Saved AWP, a couple of AKs, a MAC-10 and util again, but they've had this buy plenty of times and are now going to attempt to knock on the door of A. Remember the early game plan? Fake B, creep out A and try and target JACKZ. Well, m0NESY's here.
m0NESY has not been missing a beat on this first half of this elimination game. Maybe a bait and attack swing. Util being deployed towards cave, but the G2 seem to already know what's up. You can see the rotation on that minimap. NiKo even flirting to fill the gap mid, so they are leaning A, and this defense seems very rigid. Here's the util, there's the crawl, and down goes attack. m0NESY puts his name in the feed for another opening. They do have time, and they are starting to pick up the pace, starting to close that gap. Plopsky trying as hard as he might to keep m0NESY looking in the right direction. Gets some space into that donut position up behind the smoke. Far from convincing. m0NESY's got this on lock. hampus a lot of space. JACKZ eliminated now, all onto m0NESY. You need to get that bomb across, and he has managed to at least keep himself alive. The 4-on-4 goes 4v3. hampus doing everything for the Ninjas to make that third round a reality. Brollan hearing this, the rotation through CT, maybe even calling 2 footsteps. Plopsky could be forced out into this line. This is teamwork right here. Oh, it doesn't spread. Doesn't spread, just a little too deep, and now Brollan can start to flank. NiKo confirms his suspicions, and so it should be the double. Oh yes, Brollan's MAC-10 has secured the third round, the final round of this first half. NiP's pick, and on the attack no less, they leave with 3.
3, is it going to be enough? That's the question right now. NiP in this 2-minute break need to find themselves some soul searching. There's not a single threat in the server right now. G2 looking hot to trot, and leading the charge is the young gun m0NESY. Looking to close this one out and get on over to map number 2. G2, they're in form.
3 times the charm, as they say, and in 2014, that statement couldn't be more true for Ninjas in Pajamas. After DreamHack Winter 2013 and ESL Major Series 1 Katowice 2014, this legendary Swedish roster took their 3rd shot at winning a major championship trophy, and in the grand final in Cologne, they faced their natural rivals from Fnatic. It was 1-1 in the maps, and everything would be decided on the 3rd arena, Inferno, where after the initial Fnatic lead, Freiburg helped NiP turn the tides and in time, make history in Counter-Strike.
Meister will find the shot on Exist. Freiburg does return, picks off Pronex. He's still here though, and he's going for more. 2 big frags. The 3rd man is here, however, and Freiburg somehow opens it up single-handedly. All 3 frags.
Oh, he picks up a quad kill. He could do even better than staying alive. He's praised. Freiburg misses, and as the ace, he picks it up single-handedly. Rings Fnatic. What a play.
A-stream action to continue momentarily, but we do come at you with a quick B-stream update in that Vitality versus Mouse game. A little bit windy out here because the teams are taking a little bit of a breather, but Vitality managed to take their opponent's map pick of Inferno after a really stellar T side. Looking at Zoe with 32 kills on the board, so yeah, superstar star power going through there. Vitality have picked into Overpass as the second map in this series. It's going to be very interesting to see if they can close it out because guys on the casting booth, we know Vitality have had a bit of an issue closing out any of their map picks at the tournament so far. So I'm interested to see what you think. Is it going to be a 2-0?
What do you think?
Oh, I'm going to be there for JACKZ, the last remaining Aussie in the tournament. I think they'll take it the distance. They'll take it to 3, but I don't know if the same can be said here with the start. And speaking of starts, heavy over to B. Check out all the util on G2. 3 sets as they set up a piece.
1xBet favors G2. Let's see if the opening frag does. Plopsky with the Julies, and nearly 2. You can see Hunter, his limbs barely hanging onto his bones as hampus takes down the healthy Nico. So favoring Ninjas now, a bit greedy there. hampus wanted to finish the round right there and then.
Well, Monacy's still alive, so a big threat here. But all that util that I was excited about, really not going to matter now that they are down a man. And, well, there's still the Julies in play for both Plopsky and Brollan, so they're going to munch away if they do want to continue through Cave. And being a bit stalwart in this fight, they might meet their maker of Brollan here. This would be one way to get the party started for NiP.
I mean, you definitely want to be seeing Plopsky, Brollan, and Rez's name in the feed a whole lot more on this second half if you do want to see hope for the Ninjas surviving here.
Oof, this is a hard clear here. And normally as you round this corner in mid, you want to do it with a bit of pace, right? They're allowing the P250 to work first, but as they drop on down, have to be careful. It's silent as you like, but a hard angle to clear. And, well, Monacy's going to do it. Simple as you like. See you later. A is open for business.
Yeah, and this is real nightmare fuel for NiP now because what felt like an immediate advantage is now feeling like a disadvantage.
Where's the kit?
Yeah, no kit. Prioritizing those Julies and chipping away at Aleksib. It's Minimal damage just through the corner of Temple, and they can just play with their food now.
Aleksib still has a flash. If he goes around the world here, he might be able to use that, but right now, not so likely. 2 players pushing through the Temple position. Plopsky through spawn, but remember, no kit. They're going to have to get a move on here.
Yeah, really running out of options, and Aleksib has position to perhaps throw that flashbang over, up and over. Brollan save, damage done, body's very low. Look at the HP, but it's still G2 that fill the feed, and Plopsky's just going to get something, nothing done. Aleksib still hits the first click. It's a double out of Aleksib and m0NESY, and already 13. Well, folks, Chad, what's map 2?
Does it matter?
Probably not if NiP can't get a thing going here. Hampus, yeah, great on the first. It was that second repeat that led to a leveled odds, and, well, m0NESY did the rest.
Yeah, he's here to play today. 24 kills to his name, 5 deaths. But alongside of him, Aleksib, 19 frags, Hunter 13, 7 for JACKZ. Nico, who in the first half yesterday, I swear he had 20+ kills, has 4. He's not needed. Take a rest today, Nico. You did all the carrying yesterday. We've got it covered today, mate.
He hasn't really seen anyone. We got to watch his CT POV. It was mostly just staring at smokes as the team went the other way, but 13-3, it's armored 5-7s and deagles. I'm already losing hope.
There's no intent from NiP, right? The only player that seemed like they were even searching out for kills was hampus on the AWP, and occasionally Hampus finding himself in the thick of things. The rest of them feel timid. Yeah, it doesn't look like they're wanting to fight, and Counter-Strike is essentially about the jewels.
Yeah, you mean I could be reading in it. Oh, Plopsky's given us some hope right there on the double deeg. JACKZ pushing straight into hampus though, and does exploit that unarmored scout. Back into the site now. Plopsky locked in. Double flame, but not going to spread. He's still safe in that corner. Hunter will get the bomb down. This could ignite a little fire in the bellies of ninjas if they can close. JACKZ exposed. Missed shots from Hampus, and JACKZ is still a threat on the MAC-10. Finishes it now with the HE. Hunter, good tap. More required. Hampus is there and low. But it's Aleksib asked to come up clutch. A 1v3. They'll likely look towards Cave as it is too silent on site. He's got the lineup, and they did fake it. Oh, dear.
Hampus can extinguish
it. No. Oh, Brollan's pushed in. They are on the defuse now, but already 1 frag of the 3. Look at the tap. Oh, my God, he finds another. Could knife res. He's not going for it, though. He assumes they're off the ball. Oh, the 10-second defuse. Res, balls of steel, and nearly the clutch of a lifetime from Aleksib.
Oh, he thought he already knocked the diffuser off the bomb, but it was all a ruse. They had multiple members in the smoke.
But then I saw him with the knife, and I thought, one right click. The dude was 35.
Oh, dear. Whoa, Plopsky's work was not all in vain. It felt almost for Aleksib here.
Right.
You can see he pushes through the USB kill. That's it. That's all he needed to do. But he's in plain sight. He just needed to peer around the smoke, and Rez gets it across the line.
A 10-seconder.
A lifeline here for NiP.
Oy, oy, oy. Let's hope that doesn't tilt the Samurai. Shouldn't be more than just the 1 round, but M4s are now in play. Even the recovered AK for Rez, who didn't necessarily get another frag, but got another round.
Yeah, we'll take the round win. Swedes around the world on their feet right now was finally a little bit of something. Plopsky, that was some show-stopping deagles right there. He gave his team an opportunity to attempt to get back into this game. Because think about it, G2, they win against the Force, then it's an eco. That would have already been 15.
Yeah, it was basically curtains. I think Plopsky's double deeg in with Aleksib's, I'm not even going to call it unluckiness. It's just twist of fate. It was the way the coin was flipped.
Yeah, it is what it is. I think might be the motto there.
Nades on the light side for G2. So a single smoke, a single Molotov, and a 2-man retake of ramp. This is what JACKZ and m0NESY are waiting for, though. This is exactly what they're waiting for. The round could be determined in this fight.
They're coming.
JACKZ dead. Oh. It's a double out of Brollan. More confidence-boosting frags for one of NiP's stars.
Well, what's this? 3 consecutive rounds now that NiP have found the opening, and in the last 2, it's been double openings. As Nico will put Hampus on his bottom. He will be watching for the next 30 seconds, but Hunter towards A with a lurky kill.
Oh, Rez, so scared, so scared. One more bullet out of that Tech-9 would finish him, and there it is, straight to the head.
Time, they have to go B with the bomb.
Yeah, and if Plopsky kills Aleksib, that is the bomb. Plopsky knows how much this frag means to him, and the flank from sight is perfect. Nico doing a lot now. Caught out, 10 seconds. Aleksib needs to somehow get this bomb down uncontested. Will Brollan brave it? Surely just hold W, and he is. Running him down, Aleksib strafes round. Oh! The movement movement of a god. And now it is the movement god with an aid right onto the face. Aleksib smirking, though. He knows he did something spicy there.
That is cheeky,
If I
isn't
can see
it?
that again, just because of the, even from his opponent's perspective, you know he's got his crosshair going elsewhere.
Yeah, because you expected him to be dancing around the pillar, maybe trying to hightail it into cave. The plant was great. The kill was bloody beautiful. And this is Hunter taking down Red. Sure, there was a bit of misdirection late within the piece, but this is it. The bomb goes down, the jump around, and he just completely jukes Brollan there. Face checks him in the bush, and oh, the nade, destined. And yeah, you can see the smile. He knows how much damage he did. There's going to have to be reinvestments on 4 players, and all power for Tag now, and pistols back in for G2. Still a threatening round here for NiP to deal with.
Be in their interest to do so cleanly and quickly. Lot of damage. Don't need to get greedy here. The nade's already in. Honesty's name's in the feed as we do see a 2-frag response. NiP have subdued the cave offense. And there is, a deagle on Nico. Always to be feared. Careful with that big gun. You got the AWP on Tag now being threatened.
I don't know if that's where he wanted that smoke to land.
It does not really serve its purpose. I think you can see from Tag.
It's a one-way for Tag,
yeah,
I
thanks,
think.
man. Appreciate that.
This should be dead to rights for Rez. He needs these confident boosting kills. I know it's just against the pistols, but Rez desperately needing to get some traction now. Only 4 kills to his name, and one of the keys with Rez is he's the A defender, which might come under scrutiny here. G2 ran some nice A rounds against ENCE yesterday. Nico looking for a chance, but Brollan will deny, and JACKZ will get one back, so no confidence for Rez in this round.
Not at all. If anything, more frustration just bubbling to the surface. Now, Bomb was B-side.
Yeah, and so was a couple of players, but Brollan's just evacuated here to play retake. So that kill from JACKZ has done more than just put one body in the grave. It's facilitated an opportunity to get another plant. Surely not.
We said it would be nice for the Ninjas to pick this one up cleanly, and I think already that's kind of scrapped given the conceding of 2 of their rifles.
Yeah, if Brollan gets to live, right, if he takes contact against, he can just drop the bottle of flames in the site, which could cause bigger issues for G2, because remember, they are going to want to go down here before time expires.
So this is the perfect time to drop that incendiary onto the site. It's going to leave them either an open plant or a must plant 5-second plant. Good flash in the flames.
Yeah, so there you
down,
go.
and mission accomplished.
But Hunter's, oh no, oh no, oh no. He holds on to the famished shore. Oh, after time, that's a big issue. That is what I was worried about. That bottle of flames did so much, and that's really frustrating going into the first gun round here for G2. So not only is there a couple of upsetting moments, you add another to the mix just for Hunter here. Now, he's the type of player on the team who would be the least phased by this, I would say. So shouldn't be too many issues. But you can see this here. And you knew that the molly was likely to do some damage. JACKZ way too close to the heat. And Hunter goes down after time. So, yeah, that's a rough one.
I mean, yeah, if we were having like a tilt tally, I think NiP still have plenty more on the wall. But that is a couple back for the G2 squad. Hunter forced to stomach a Tech 9 armor. That is a product of dying after time.
All their nades are almost gone. Only Aleksib with a full set, or close to, and honestly with a smoke. So a lot of utility used early from G2 just to get territory towards B.
What territory? They've just given it all up. If he swings through this lane now, Brollan will have all the answers.
This could be quick, though. You can see how fast they're making it back through T-spawn, but they only have 1 smoke on Monacy, so you have to pick your poison. Do we smoke Donut or CT? Unlikely to see them smoke Temple, but they do have a molly if they'd like. Now, the smoke towards top cave has just faded. They're going to push forward, and they're going to play for info, you'd assume. It's very, very quiet right now.
Yeah, and if they don't, it's still just going to be a 2-man A defense. It seems likely it's going to be hampus and Rez with their moment in the sunshine. Can they pass this test? The G2 Samurai ready to release. Monacy sails the smoke into the sky, and Rez readies to hold his sight. Already Hunter beelining in. Look at this flight path. Well timed. Oh, utility. Rez completely flustered in that one. Run down by the Tech 9. Costs Hunter nothing. He still provides the opening. And the rest falling into place now for G2. 14th. Just a couple of digs out of hampus. That is convincing stuff out of the Swede, but bomb plan cancelled. Rotates in. Splopski from the donut that will try and contest. And Tag calling back through. He could be presented a frag here.
Time of problem.
Oh, no, he's let it slip, and this should fall apart now. 14 for G2. Tag in the 1v3 as the bomb's planted safely.
And he has to save. He has to save.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was NiP's hopes and dreams of, you know, a real consecutive run here on the defense, really just falling down by the new flight path. It's not even new, but watching Hunter, you know, you saw it from Rez's POV. Nothing, absolutely nothing he could have done about that other than being in a different position.
Yeah, I think that it's all the vogue at the moment, right? Nobody risks running wide anymore because you open yourself up to too many fights.
It used to be, you know, all three of you cross in big box and then you work from Temple into site, but it's not. I mean, with the change to Temple, of course, it's much more donut focused. A quick molly by the site as Hunter arrives on donut, it really put Rez in a box.
Yeah, and a lot of teams are starting to do this now, but just with the fact they had the pistols as well, it really helps out with the Tech 9s to get up close and personal. And with the light utility they have, you can see just how perfect it was. The CT smoke with the molly that lands behind the side box, and JACKZ actually missed through it. You want it to be landing behind the box to completely push him out from there. It landed just on the tippy top, but regardless, the same result. And NiP, they have the saved AWP, but behind it is just going to be some upgraded pistols. I think this one is done.
Certainly feels that way, doesn't it? m0NESY and JACKZ. It's rare to have two here. And that explains why. JACKZ was doing a little delivery of his own, so m0NESY could perhaps fake out an A. Seems like that was intent. You can see JACKZ now just meandering back with that dropped smoke. So if nothing goes down in the next, what, 15, 20 seconds. Nice smoke drop from the Ninjas. I believe that was the penultimate smoke. One remaining on Rez.
The name of the game here is avoid the AWP, right? Avoid the AWP and, well, find yourself safe haven. But you do need to at least play for some information. And apparently Esatag is the one who wants to take the fight to G2. Creeping down long.
Now, you know what? Killing the bomb carrier would
Saw
be
something there.
Yeah, just the tip of JACKZ's head. Oh, he tags him. Corner of the box, follows up through the doors. Bomb down, problems now for G2. This could be a recovery, and it is now. Hunter goes hunting, but loses out to the sidearm of Plopsky.
Well, I think this one, Nico, a 1-on-5 situation with the AK, 40 seconds left. We need an absolute miracle here, and well, this is his chance to get a couple of kills, but not to be, and another light buy win.
I've worked it out, Chad. NiP needs to stop buying 5 guns and just have pistols and an AWP.
I just had the same problem in the FaZe versus Spirit game. Every time Spirit went into full rifles, they'd lose, but every time they had Tech 9s, they made it very, very costly, or they were converting. So, yeah, when the real pressure, right? This is it. We show what we do with the pistols, but that was a great opener there from Esatag, and while that was going down, the kill on the A lurker was removed as well, and you just saw them hightail it with that A push and be able to stifle any rotations from G2. Now, they have so many rounds to work with here to close this down. They just need 2 more. But I want to remind everybody that this is the T side of Ancient. Now, yesterday against ENCE, they had a great T half. They don't need a great one this time round, but they're straight out mid. Hampus is going to mop up a couple, make that only 2. Brollan and Esatag.
Still a couple. Still a couple. 8 now inscribed for NiP. They would be hard-pressed to keep this up. But yeah, as you've highlighted, G2's T side haul was fantastic.
That's a good skit, but we'll save it for the break.
It's coming up. There you go, a little teaser for you.
Yeah.
Something to look
Hang
forward
around
to.
for that one.
Yeah, there's a good one coming. I had a real chuckle in my Uber this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, watching through all of Trace Donasaranthus acting.
He's been doing some good job, hasn't he?
Yeah, Hunter's going quick here. Extinguish, or at least to threaten it. Aleksib through the flames as well, down to 25. Oh my god, look at their health. NiP have no idea, but they've essentially, and could have, if that nade was a little deeper, killed 2 of them. Hunter on 9, Aleksib 17.
That's something that Esatag did quite well when I was watching the Heroic game. He was always quite a thorn in mid around either dropping his own smoke or playing around the smokes that Heroic were throwing out when trying to take that mid control. So they've already dealt with this round, and G2 didn't have a whole lot of util. That was almost pushing all the chips into the center of the table with that all-in gambit mid. And now that Hunter and Aleksib are low, I'm sure they would love to save, but we know if you do that on the T side, you don't get the loss bonus, which means next round they would have $200. JACKZ will be the only one able to spend. So they will have to go for this. They were proficient earlier with light util. Let's see if they can do it again. m0NESY to be boosted up to look for a pick, but doesn't have anybody on the other side. Nico now needs to find this fight against Brollan. A bit of an off angle, sees the jiggle, goes for the spam, and Brollan can get away here, but caught in the fight, gets the first.
Oh, Aleksib's so low, and he still gets it back on the trade. The Finn doesn't take a point of extra damage in that duel.
Up to 24 kills now as Aleksib. This is a great game from the in-game leader.
He's catching m0NESY after a ball terror half. And hampus, there's so many people on his screen. Taps away, gets away. Okay, their options just really got put in the bin. That was one of the 2 healthy members.
Yeah, and now that Rez is pushing as well, I think that I mentioned saving before. I'm sure it has to be a conversation. Hunter has the AWP in his hands. Rez might not allow it here. They are going to go for this.
Yeah, Plopski's been forced out. He's safe from the spray. It's Hunter's chance. Into Plopski's aim. 8 seconds, and they're going to lose everything here. It's just JACKZ trying his luck to get that bomb down, give him some extra funds. But this gap now is closing. We talked about it. A 12-3 half, dominant from the CTs that were G2. NiP going to have to do the same, if not better.
I want to talk about hampus right now, and I spoke before about him being the leading force for this team as far as the stat lines go in the tournament so far, but in the server right now as well. 21 kills in total, but it's not just 21 kills. He has 7 assists as well. And then when you look at the more detailed statistics, he's rocking an average of 97 ADR. He has the highest utility damage on his team by about 100 at 230, and the most effective flashes. So you have to ask yourself, what more does hampus need to do?
Next is probably wondering, what more can my boys do? I mean, you thought that the 12-3 half was a bit of a lock-in, especially when you throw in a pistol.
I'm going to put it this way. The fact that NiP only has 6 kills and he hasn't had to have a lot of traction so far in their game, if this continues and gets closer and closer, a NiP round will happen.
Yeah.
It will happen, and the game will be over. So this, for me, feels like a matter of time. And if NiP keep him quiet for the remainder of the game, that's impressive in itself.
Yeah, all power to them.
This could be the A play that we've been talking about from G2. Watch the scaling here and notice Rez and hampus' crossfire that they have set up.
Flashes are coming. I like this setup from Rez. He should have a headshot. Ooh, gives up the ghost. It's hampus now close. And oh, they have got themselves 3. It's all Rez spraying down the G2 commit. This half by halved. It is just m0NESY now and NiKo. 27 and counting for young m0NESY.
That's one way to deal with it, right? By having 2 players so up far and put. Like, that's a great call from NiP to have 2 players in those close positions. And m0NESY did his job. I've spoken about it a few times, but that he's normally the AWPer in that position. It's his job to watch Big Box and Temple, and he got his kill. It was the close angle against Rez that was the difficulty there. And the position he played was a bit more forward than what they've been experiencing when they've had those A plays previously. Now it's about allowing NiKo and m0NESY to work. And they both have deagles, and they're both quite proficient with these $700 hand cannons.
Okay. So this clip in the Frag movie will be called the Padawan and the Sensei.
Is that the next Star Wars spin-off?
I believe it might be, yeah. Certainly nothing to be celebrated in that one, though. Just the one casualty for the Ninjas. They are successfully defending that site, and that's the second nice shot m0NESY in the chat from hampus. I think he's enjoying playing against someone as sharp as him. 14 now to 10. It was a 12-3 half. That's the last time I'll remind you, but it is just something that bears repeating, given the pistol going G2's way. You really are going to start seeing frustrations if this gun round does not find a leg up early.
Well, we're back in the conversation now from NiP. It's no longer about them being quiet and not getting away with anything, not looking like they have intent. They clearly have intent now, and they're back in the match. And based on what you're saying, it feels like G2 should have closed this one already. You don't want to give NiP a chance, and you don't want to give hampus another kill. He'll add another one to the tally here and gets out of dodge. hampus ushers him out. The bodyguard with the AWP just securing. And he pushes over the ledge position and looking likely to test their luck on the B-bomb side again. G2 might be stalled out here one more time. And with all the legs up they've had...
It's just Brollan and Plopski here, though. They haven't been the hardest hitters. Dumping their util in response. This counter util, how far does it get them? A boost to be set up. A boost to be set up. And it's hampus actually finding NiKo. He's just rotated through.
Planning front side of the pillar here. This is different.
Spot him, and if they do jump, Aleksib's pre-aiming that. Doesn't catch a glimpse of that boosted tower of Swedes. 3 from G2. 2 from... Well, there goes G2. All on Brollan. 3-man retake. And he takes them all in quick succession. This is NiP starting to get G2 a little sweaty on the palm.
Yeah, we weren't worried about the tilt rounds earlier, but I think we are now. The conversation has completely changed. There's definitely a new air in the room. The tension's starting to rise for G2 now. They've had more than enough opportunities to get this game already done and dusted, but they've flubbed a few. They've had a couple of little mistakes or oopsies, and now NiP are back in this. It's a 3-round game. The bomb goes down short. Another buy likely to come in here from G2, but this is looking good. You've got Brollan now whirring into action. One of the names we need to see contributing, now up to 18 kills. You got 16 for Esetag, who did his best work in the first half. You just need a little bit more from Plopsky and Rez, and NiP could take this in regulation.
Hasn't our tune changed?
We just follow the game, man.
Yeah. But I mean, hasn't the tune changed? I mean, looking at this, NiP have forced G2 into another conservative buy. You know how you talked about the guarantee of a Nico round? Well, all the power to NiP if it doesn't happen, but if ever there was a time, it would be a deagle and it would be a double headshot. Just watch out into this one. Round 26, first map of this elimination series. One of these teams packing their bags in Cologne tonight.
Now, the smiles have definitely been wiped off the faces of G2 now. They're going to smoke top mid. Looks like they want to biff and brawl.
Oh, it's fast. Hampus is here, but it's going to need some help. Going to need some help, because there's two in the feed out of Hunter. An AK recovered and pace into the A site. Brollan quick to address it. Already, though, as JACKZ. He may not be ready for this. Brollan not going to clear his corners. Walks straight into the MAC 10. And now G2 set for success on just a half buy. 2 left and gets the info. Honestly, being a geek about it. Does so safely. And look at Hunter. It's not Nico, it's the other Kovac in the server. Hunter's the one to tip the scales back in G2's favor. Plopsky try as hard as he might. He's already taken one of this 4-man clutch. But there's no time for this, and he has to accept it as well. They're going to have to fight and battle back in with 4 consecutive rounds of their own. Yeah, things have been going so well, right? Plopsky can hang around and try and do some damage. You've got another kill to his name now. Rez has 15k at this juncture of the game, but it could be all for naught if they end up just dropping and losing to just that pistol scrimming out mid. You know, Nico, I'm sure he's more than happy to play the blood sacrifice to secure the round, so he goes down, but the rest of them get the job done. Massive stuff from Hunter here. You can see the Tech 9, and he doesn't have to stop moving. Look, he's still constantly weaving and bobbing, taking these fights. This one from JACKZ is brilliant. What a strange angle that he's opted to play here, but profits, and Hunter on the top rope lays them out and just puts G2 one round away. Just as we were starting to get worried, they find a solution. The reassuring arm touch of Marcy as well. He's the one trying to keep Nico in at the juncture today. Hampus trying to take matters into his own hands. You can see this aggression, it suits him. Bait from Brollan. It's going to be fading in a second here. No one looking as it currently stands. Plopsky would love to take some contact to distract. His toes might be sticking out any second. Yeah, that's a problem, and Hampus now down. Brollan for a response. Gets it and gets away. NiP holding on now by a thread. It's Rez to mantle up in pursuit of glory. The CT smoke kind of screws him. What? Oh, not only screws him, it might have screwed Rez. He gets caught off. And Esetag goes down as well. It's JACKZ on the A-lurk.
Here it is again. Look at the gap.
Yeah. Oh, there was a gap. It's all gone wrong for the Ninjas, and by their own hand.
That is rough. By
their own hand, Chad. 2 on 4. I feel like it's done now, and this is their pick. So, beginning perhaps of the end for the Ninjas here in Cologne.
Well, Brollan's given up his position now, so G2 on the A site already can start training their eyes directly where the young gun lies. The newest addition to NiP goes down as well. Monacy, lightning fast, removes him from the equation, and Plopsky in another 1-on-4 situation.
Yeah, outlook is bleak. JACKZ seems set to collect. And G2 set to take us to nuke for survival. 16 on the board. G2, a dominant first half, closed with a couple of ups and downs. Definitely one to watch is Monacy, as he does what Nico did yesterday. The individuals of G2 firing on all cylinders and taking it in turns.
Yeah, now they can carry these good vibes, the smiles on the faces into their own map choice. A bit of a curveball here into the second map of the series of Nuke. NiP need to reset. They've showed up, they're here to play, but is it too little too late? As threat, you see him there, might have some wise words for the boys in the break.